Never let it be said that I do not respond to criticism. I do, or at least I do to positive criticism. Here's an example. Last Friday on the Radio 5 live show that I present with Simon Mayo, I reviewed Sinister, the new horror movie by Scott Derrickson. And I said it was partly scary. First half is pretty scary, second half less so. But in the course of that review, I referred to Sinister as a found footage film. Sinister, which is this new horror film from Scott Derrickson, who did Emily Rose, is yet another found footage film. Now, the reason I call Sinister a found footage film is that a central plot device is Ethan Hawke is a true crime writer who moves into a house where a terrible murder had been committed, and upstairs in the loft he finds some footage. He finds a box of Super 8 films that are the key to the plot and the magic and the scares of the film. Many of you disagreed with me using that term. Now, specifically on Twitter, a guy called Stuart Barr, who tweets as Max Wren, a reference I hope you all get, said, Mark, it's terribly misleading to refer to Sinister as a found footage film. In fact, so misleading that many people will not go and see it as a result of you calling it a found footage film. And I thought about this, I took it quite seriously, and I wanted to explain why I called it a found footage film, but also to discuss whether or not I was right to do so. See, the history of the found footage genre begins not with Blair Witch, which everyone thinks is the great found footage film, but with Cannibal Holocaust, the notorious video nasty, which remains shocking and appalling largely due to the unforgivable animal cruelty within it. But at the centre of Cannibal Holocaust, there is the idea of the found footage film. They find a reel of footage which is brought back and then watched as if it were real, as if it were a documentary. Now, when Mirek and Sanchez made the Blair Witch Project, they hadn't seen Cannibal Holocaust, but they told me that when they watched it, they thought, wow, we never saw this, but here is the film that effectively created our genre. Now, in the wake of the Blair Witch Project, which cost almost nothing but made a fortune, a lot of opportunistic horror filmmakers tried to simply cash in on that Blair Witch formula. And the fact is, there was loads of very boring, tedious movies produced that gave found footage a bad name. But at the same time, the found footage genre expanded and mutated, giving us examples as diverse as Cloverfield, a big-budget science fiction movie seen entirely through the lens of a video camera, or Project X, described by some people as the end of civilization as we know it, or think of Chronicle, or Troll Hunter, or The Chernobyl Diaries, or Lovely Molly, or even Silent House, which isn't technically a found footage movie, but frankly, it looks like one. Now, in the case of Sinister, I specifically described it as a found footage film because it is a film in which footage is found and that footage is central to the plot. But did I do it a disservice lumping it in with the found footage genre? In fact, is found footage even a genre? See, also on Twitter, Simon Williams, tweeting as Swill I Am, said, look, is it a genre like slasher films? Isn't it more just a technique, a way of presenting any form of story in any genre? So my question to you is this. Firstly, do you think I was unfair to Sinister in calling it a found footage film? In doing so, did I put you off seeing it? And if so, how would you define a found footage film? Is it a genre or is it a style? For me, there is such a thing as a found footage film, but that is a very diverse pool, and it goes from, on the one hand, Cannibal Holocaust, to on the other hand, Blair Witch, and yes, for me, Sinister. But if I was wrong, let me know.